And welcome to New York City for the official opening press conference for the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix. How exciting is this? My name is BJ Wilson. I am your host. I'm a broadcaster, a journalist, and I got to say, in the words of perhaps Giles Scott, I am absolutely chuffed to be back with you again this morning overseeing these proceedings. It marks, here in New York, a long-awaited return for SailGP, who sailed these waters in 2019, the inaugural season. And I can't think of a better venue to kick things off than this incredible venue up here today with these 360-degree views, panoramic looks out at New York and some of the most iconic buildings, New York's Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty, and, of course, the race course where our 10 national teams will be doing battle tomorrow and Sunday. It's a very exciting weekend here, and we're glad to have you. Before we get started here, we do have some incredible news, some very exciting news. In fact, it's so exciting that we are calling up the big guns to let you in on it. And so I would like to call to the podium this morning five-time America's Cup champion, Olympic gold medalist, commander of the British Empire, and SailGP CEO, the legend, Mr. Russell Coutts. Good morning.
Thank you, BJ. Thank you, BJ, and thanks to all of you for being here this morning. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years since SailGP first raced here in New York. And looking back on that inaugural event is like reflecting on a totally different stage in our journey. We had just 6 national teams in a 5-event calendar. And now, nearing the end of season 4, we have 10 teams with the best of the best athletes in the sport, competing in a 13-event calendar, broadcast in 212 territories around the world. And there's even more exciting growth ahead in Season 5, including a return to New York, more venues, and importantly, new teams on the start line. But before I give too much away, I'm delighted to share the stage with our valued global partner and title partner for this weekend's event, Mubadala. SailGP's partnership with Mubadala began in 2021 and has gone from strength to strength, and which Brian will get into shortly. This morning, however, we're delighted to announce our biggest and boldest venture together yet, the formation of SailGP's first ever South American team. Thank you.
Mark number 1, high speeds across the board. Nerves of steel as they approach mark number 1. The battle is on. These are the best athletes on water.
Good morning. Super exciting day for all of us in this room. My name is Brian Lott. Excuse me. I'm the Chief Communications Officer for Mubadala, and we have been partners with SailGP for the last 3 years, global partners really starting in Season 3 and now Season 4. And as you can see, an exciting moment for us as we look ahead to a Brazil team starting next year. It really is an obvious extension of how we look at sponsorship. What is so unique about this league is it's not just about the athletes who are all incredible, but it's also about the purpose behind the league. As you may recall, the UAE was host last year to COP28. Climate is on everyone's mind, and in a sport that's powered by nature and that's committed to sustainability, it really aligns with us as an entity that is trying to do good in the world, pursue an energy transition toward clean energy as one of the biggest renewable investors globally. And we were thrilled to bring SailGP to Abu Dhabi this January, where we hosted, in line with our maritime heritage, the first race in Abu Dhabi, not the last. So We're excited to build on this partnership. Lots of great news today. And with my partners at Mubadala Capital, including our Chief Investment Officer at Mubadala Capital, Oscar Fahlgren, to create this new and exciting moment for the league and for us as a team. So let me turn it over to Oscar. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Hi, everyone. We're super excited to be here today to very proudly announce the Mubadala Capital's acquisition of the newly formed SailGP Brazil team. I think this is particularly exciting for us as Brazil has been a key market for Mubadala Capital for a long time. We have today a portfolio of over $6 billion in the country, and we continue to believe in its tremendous potential. So I think combining something that has been key to us, which is sports and sustainability, with a jurisdiction where we've been very, very active, with a partner that we've known from the beginning in Alan Adler, who has helped us on our journey, is very special. We see, SailGP aims to be probably the leading sustainable sports platform on the planet, and I think that corresponds very well and aligns with our values, and we're just tremendously excited to be here. So we're looking forward to see what the Brazil SailGP team can accomplish in the upcoming season. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to my partner and our CEO, Alan Adler.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, Russell, and thank you, Brian. Good morning, everyone. It's really exciting to be here announcing a Brazil team finally. It didn't take too much time. Russell knows we met last year in September, and now we are here announcing an amazing team. And sailing is the most successful sport in Brazil, having won 19 medals so far, of which 8 gold medals. And women play an important role on that, winning the 2 golds in the last 2 Olympic Games. So I am a sailor enthusiastic, of course. I'm a former Olympic sailor. I did 3 Olympic Games. That's where I met Russell 40 years ago in Long Beach. Yeah, time flies. But I have been away for 20 years. I pursue a career in sports and entertainment as an executive, working with major world-class sports brands. And what brought me back to sailing was really SailGP. It's the right product, Russell, and the right time. It's really amazing to be part of that. So I really just want to thank you for the opportunity to have us in the league. Thanks Mubadala and Mubadala Capital for their trust, and also to give the opportunity to project Brazil name around the globe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Russell, Brian, Oscar, and Alan. Incredible news. I mean, how exciting is it going to be to see SailGP's first ever South American team on the starting line next season? We're going to get our 10 drivers up here now to get their thoughts on this and, of course, the weekend ahead. And I know many of you are going to be wanting to hear more about the Mubadala Brazil SailGP team. We would kindly ask you to hold those questions until the end of the show and direct any requests to our media team on site following the usual Q&A. Now, let me introduce you to the rock stars of the weekend, our 10 drivers. First up, representing the home team, who will be looking to put on the performance of a lifetime and improve on recent showings, ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Canfield of the U.S. SailGP team. Next, it's the driver from across the pond and winner of the most recent Rock Wool Canada Sail Grand Prix, Giles Scott of Emirates, Great Britain. Peter Burling is next of the Black Foils, who maintains the top position of the Season 4 leaderboard. Peter? Diego Botín of Spain, who has risen to the 2nd spot in the overall season standings. Good morning, Diego. Sitting in 3rd, Tom Slingsby of Australia, whose incredible capsize in Halifax is something I know you're going to want to hear more about. Tom, welcome. Quentin Delapierre of France, runner-up in Halifax and now breathing down the neck of Australia with a real shot of making the final next month in San Francisco. From the Rockwool, Denmark SailGP team, Nikolai Sehested, who sits 5th after another podium finish in Halifax. Double Olympic bronze medalist from Germany, it's Eric Heil. Phil Robertson of Canada, who I know is still riding off that home event buzz from Halifax. Good morning, Phil. And two-time Olympic medalist Nathan Outeridge of Switzerland. All right, before we get into things, we want to talk about the announcement, of course, that we all just heard. Phil, I want to start with you. Are you surprised by the announcement of Brazil this morning?
That was fantastic. I think as a league, it's an awesome place to be. You got new teams and a lot of interest from a lot of countries. So to have Brazil on the start line is very special and cool to expand to South America. So welcome.
Peter Burling, you claimed gold in Brazil, which has, as we heard, a rich Olympic sailing history. Do you think that the new team will be competitive right out of the gate?
Well, I think it's a hard league to join and come into, and to be honest, I don't actually know what their lineup is yet, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be pretty special for us to get back down to Rio. We've got some pretty fond memories there, and looking forward to it.
The Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix is finally here, years in the making. New York locals are in for a real treat this weekend, and the penultimate event of Season 4 could not have more riding on it. There's only 8 points separating 2nd and 5th place, and with the grand final in San Francisco just weeks away, and the $2 million in prize money up for grabs for only one winning team, this official New York event is a last-chance saloon for many on the stage here this morning. Several teams struggled in conditions on the final day racing in Halifax. That was a remarkable weekend, most notably Australia's capsize, but also nail-biting moments from Spain as well as France, who lost control in the final, ultimately handing the win to Emirates Great Britain. Watching from afar, I think a lot of people had the question, was it safe to be out there? So Tom, let me start with you. Of course, the incredible capsize in Halifax, the cause of which has been confirmed to be a technical issue. Can you talk us through what went wrong?
Essentially what we had was a technical issue and a button failure. These boats are extremely technical, and the stuff we have on board is like the highest level. But every now and then these failures are going to happen, and it's part of sort of what we sign up to do, and it's part of that racing these boats at the highest level. And it's unfortunate. We're obviously quite frustrated by it. We were leading that race, and we had a good chance of making the final, and we thought we had a shot at potentially winning the event, but that didn't happen. And we've just got to roll with the punches, and the boat's been fixed, and we're ready to roll here.
Put on your conspiracy theory cap for a moment here, Tom. The team has now faced technical malfunctions in Halifax and Bermuda. Of course, there was the incident with the mark in Christchurch. But are you confident there's no suspicious behavior going on to sabotage Australia's shot at another season title?
If you know something I don't, I'd love to hear it. But no, look, it's just the way it is. We're racing the fastest boats in the world, tight racetracks in amazing cities, and whether it's a mark in Christchurch, like we're trying to bring this racing as close to spectators as we can, and we had a mark close to the shore, and it was a bit of a pinch point in the racetrack, and so that happened. In Bermuda, it was frustrating to have a technical issue on the second day, but at the end of the day, that didn't cost us a win. The Spanish outsailed us there. And then in Halifax, we had a technical malfunction as well. And look, there's highs and lows in this sport. It feels like we're riding a bit of a low at the moment, but we're confident things will turn back our way, and we've just got to remain positive. And we've got an amazing team, and we know that when we're fully firing, we're hard to beat. So we've just got to roll with the punches and see how we go here.
Talk to Spain for a moment. Diego, despite climbing to second in the overalls, you had some pretty scary moments in Halifax. What's going through your mind on days like that? Is it hard to balance pushing as hard as you can, but also protecting the F50 at the same time?
Yes, these boats are really hard to sail in easy conditions, and if you put yeah, shifty, gusty, and strong winds with a tight course and 10 boats is super hard, no? So yeah, we just, when you are there, you just think about how you live the moment, no? You try to sail the boat as best as you can, and yeah, try to maximize your options. That's what we did. We had some issues, some good moments in Halifax, and it was an amazing event.
Giles, congratulations, first of all, on a great event in Halifax. You seemed right at home in the gusty winds. A lot of people have been saying the performance in Halifax seemed to come from nowhere. Can you tell us, where did that incredible performance come from?
I'm not sure it came from nowhere, but yes, certainly nice to get out in front of this fleet for the first time since I joined the league. Certainly, it's been a bit of a tricky apprenticeship for myself into SailGP, to be honest, and yeah, to get to Halifax and put a good foot forward and a good performance on the board is certainly very positive, and I think we're excited to step forward from that, and hopefully we can do it again.
You faced some criticism on your performance so far in SailGP. Is there some vindication after Halifax with the rumors that were swirling around that you might not be safe with the team?
Yeah, I suppose I did face some criticism, but didn't face too much criticism after Canada, which was nice. So yeah, it's part of this league, and everyone likes a story and a bit of gossip. And for me, it's all about the sailing, and we're just trying to win boat races.
Giles, let me give you a second to glow. There's a lot of talk about Hannah Mills being back on board. Can you tell us, what edge does she give the team?
Hannah is an amazing sailor and does a great job in that strategic role. And to be honest, the whole crew that I sail with is amazing. And I think Canada was a perfect venue to showcase that. Really tricky venue to race, and we all did a good job and got it right as a unit.
It was an impressive one to win, certainly. Let me go now from first place all the way down to last place. Taylor, 10th, 10th, 10th. The U.S. had one of the worst performances in SailGP history on the Saturday in Halifax. What went wrong?
Yeah, before we get into that, congrats to the Mubadala and the Brazilian team. We're excited to have you in the league. We also had an amazing announcement this morning for those that saw. We just announced a global partnership with Tommy Hilfiger starting in season 5. So we're pumped to have them on board. Got some fresh threads from them this morning, so I'm going to just throw these on real quick.
And that, my friends, is called deflecting.
I'll start with the good news, at least.
Of course, absolutely. Okay, so now, and that's terrific news for you guys. What about Halifax? What was the problem?
Yeah, I think everyone's alluded to how difficult these boats are to sail and how just tricky the conditions were in Halifax. And we have a very new growing team and an incredible group of talent, and great to have all Americans on the boat. But it's going to take time, and we've acknowledged that. And starting off in those conditions with a new wing trimmer, a pretty vital role on the boat, was super challenging. He hopped in, Jeremy Wilmot, and did an incredible job. And we were in a couple races, and we're making the mistakes, and we're looking to improve those mistakes as quick as possible and just up the level of consistency. But yeah, that's going to take time, and I'm sure that this group will get to be fighting for the top into season 5.
All right, so you just mentioned right there how proud you are to have an all-American lineup. If the team can't turn things around this season, are you going to consider looking for talent abroad?
Absolutely not.
Short answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Confident in this group that we have.
Now, but you also have a new and quite large ownership group. Is there any pressure from them in that department?
No, coming into the league and with our ownership group, we're very clear. We have a couple different goals. One, win off the water. 2, eventually win on the water. But we were very open with them and telling them that this is going to take time, and they were very supportive of the idea of our plan to just progress as a team and to get to that level. And again, I'm confident, and I know Mike Buckley is confident that we're putting this team together knowing that, we're going to be pushing hard, and we're going to come knock on these guys' doors here very shortly.
Lighter winds this weekend expected in New York. Is that going to help your team achieve a better performance, do you think?
Yeah, I actually see great breeze for the weekend. I don't know what you're looking at, but we're excited for this venue is obviously incredible. This backdrop and where we are right now, and sailing in front of the Statue of Liberty and the home fans, and I think we're gonna have great breeze. And out of the south, that sea breeze should be pretty steady. So I think that should be pretty optimal conditions for our team, kind of in that mid-range, and in the right configuration on the light air boards, it sounds like, in the medium-sized wings. So I think it's going to be champagne conditions.
As we head into New York, points and positions are closer than ever. The battle for third is playing out between Australia, Spain, France, and Denmark. And perhaps that's the biggest question of all today. Could this be the first season 3-time SailGP champions Australia miss out on a grand final entirely? Tom, it is almost unbelievable to be talking about the possibility of Australia not being in the grand final. How uncomfortable are you in such unfamiliar territory?
Look, it's a boat race. I mean, it's tight. Yeah, we have for 3 seasons straight, we've sort of won the season point score, and we've gone in with a comfortable buffer, knowing that we're going to be in the grand final race multiple events in advance. And this is the first time we don't have that comfort. But yeah, look, it's exciting to be in this position. For sure, there's a bit more adrenaline and there's a bit more on the line, knowing that every race really counts at the moment. But I have full faith in my team. We've performed under pressure. We've won 3 $1 million races in the past with they're 15-minute races with everything on the line, winner takes all, and our team has managed to win 3 of them. So I know how this team performs under pressure, and we've just got to rise to that pressure again. We have in the past, and we will again here.
Thanks, Tom. Let me talk to Diego again. Los Gallos finished last overall in Season 3, and the team's journey to where you are today is nothing short of incredible. I mean, congratulations on a terrific season so far. With only 1 event remaining, you've got to be pretty happy with yourself and your team.
Yeah, it's been, we went through very hard times, especially at the end of last season and kind of the beginning of this one. And things have been going way better than expected for us. But having said that, I think if we cannot think too much about this and really focus on this event we have in front of us here in New York, because we have good things, but also many others that if we don't keep the same mindset we've been having the whole season, it can go really wrong, no? So the focus is there. We want to keep growing. We have many areas where we want to improve on, and the best way to go forward and to get ready for that final is to focus in this event in New York. Is going to be amazing, and try to put our best performance.
And of course, France is right in the mix too. Quentin, a huge improvement for France in Halifax, but still a ton of pressure here in New York. Presumably you need a couple of podium finishes to make the grand final in San Francisco, would you say?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, to finish on the podium here in New York and San Francisco. But I mean, it's tight racing again. We are 4 boats in a couple of points. Every race is with no margin. We saw in the last race in Halifax, it was really tight, and all the teams were in the final and gets out in one leg. So just to be really focused, keep it the whole team in peace, and just try to sail as free as we can.
Turning to the Danes, Nikolai, your team is still in with a shot of the top 3, but can you be honest with me, what is it with Rockwool Denmark and 3-boat finals? I think you've been in 4 this season and haven't won any of them. Is it that you can't handle the pressure of that 3-boat final?
Well, we're definitely not doing a good enough job in the final, that's for sure. But it's I don't think we're sailing the final much differently than we are in the other races in terms of pressure. We're just maybe trying too hard at times. I think maybe we should try a little bit different strategy and not go all in, and maybe just sail the final a little bit differently next time we win it. But yeah, we are definitely working on it, that's for sure.
So there could be a change in tactics then, perhaps, for these last 2 events?
I think you need to. If you've been in as many finals as we have without winning them, you're definitely doing something wrong. So yeah, we will change how we're approaching the finals and try to do it a bit differently.
Phil Robertson of Team Canada, let me ask you, you've been in great positions in both Bermuda and Halifax to make the final before finishing last in the final fleet race. In Halifax, as a result of your aggressive, maybe some might call it reckless driving, thousands of eager fans went home disappointed. Was that hard for you to bear that burden?
Yeah, it was difficult. Yeah, to be honest, we were in the last two events in great positions going into the last race, and we've let it slip. So I think it speaks of the quality of this fleet and the standard that's out there. There is no easy racing. There is no race you go into and just try to play it safe. You've got to attack every race as it's the first one. So yeah, we're disappointed, but we've addressed a few things, and I think we know how to change it around, and we'll be bigger and better for it.
Your great friend Taylor Canfield sitting right next to you. Taylor, would you like to comment at all on Phil's driving in Halifax?
He wasn't there.
Yeah, it was reckless as always. You nailed it.
Phil, you've also been known for being unpredictable, and there's no doubt going to be plenty of Canadian fans here this weekend. Do you think you can still play spoiler in New York City?
Yeah, again, the margins are so small, so we're a little bit off in the points now, but look, one crash and it's all on again. So look, it's you see how close to the limit these guys are pushing, and if you're not going to be near the front, and you're right on the edge, so as soon as you go over it, it's can become a shocker. So we're kind of hoping for a 3-boat pile-up, or even a 4-boat pile-up would be quite nice. And we'll just slip around the outside. That'll be nice.
Good chance you'll be involved in it, actually, isn't there?
Good strategy, Phil. The drama in Halifax started early on Sunday. There were high winds wreaking havoc, not only with the racing, but also with SailGP's craning operations as well. Eric, you missed the first fleet race on Sunday. Nathan and Taylor, you were benched completely. All three of you were highly critical of the league. Was the decision to sideline the U.S., Switzerland, and Germany fair? Let me start with you, Taylor. Comments on that?
We were bummed for sure. Was it fair? It's it sounds like the show must go on no matter what. So unfortunately, it's not up to us. We were ready to race that day. We're battling time on the water as the new team, and so very disappointed. And I think we're gonna have to look at it as a whole and as a full group with all the teams and say how do we make sure this doesn't happen again? Because it's gonna happen to another team, and they're gonna feel the pain that we had and not being able to race. It's it's devastating, and we were there to show up and race and push hard.
Eric Heil, your perspective on that. How difficult is it to be standing on the sidelines watching everybody else race, knowing you've got no chance of points, no chance of that extra experience and gel time? What is that like?
Yeah, maybe first of all, also a big welcome from our side to the Brazilian team. It's cool to have you there, and we've spent so many years leading up to the Olympics 2016 in Rio, and we had a great time. It was great sailing with great people around, so really excited to have you there. This Sunday was just, I think, difficult for everyone. I was not happy with how it ended up for us, but at least we had a race a little better than what US and Nathan had, or the Swiss had. We're looking for more training time, and this is unfortunate that we haven't had that in Halifax, but hopefully we can solve that better next time.
Nathan, is it true that the Swiss team is seeking compensation from the league because of Crane Gate?
I don't know about that, to be honest, but it was a really weird situation that unfolded with the weather and how the craning operations worked there. Our boat was due to be first in the water that day, and we had the wing in the sky, and it was quite apparent it was quite shifty and a bit dangerous to try and get the boat in. So SailGP tech team made the call to drop the wing, and they spent some time trying to work out how to get all the boats in safely. And we just cast our mind back to what happened in Sydney a couple of years ago with the Canadian boat, and no one wants to ever see that happen. So a plan needed to be put in place to make sure all the boats got in safely. And unfortunately, we didn't all make the start line, and I think that's probably the first event I've been involved in where some boats race and some don't through no fault of your own. But ultimately, it probably comes down to the fact that if we had have had a better day on Saturday, we would have been higher in the rankings and we would have been racing. So, we had to look internally after that event and say, how do we actually get our performance better so that, we're in the top 5 after day 1, and we can actually, race at the front of the fleet. So, as I said, it's unfortunate, and I'm sure it won't happen again. There's a lot of changes that have happened for this event. You'll probably look out the window and see most of the boats are already in the water. So, we're craning in much earlier now to try and avoid these situations. And, I think for our team, and, every day's gold on the water, and we were very fortunate enough to get a training day yesterday to kind of make up for what we missed out on in Halifax. And, we sailed for 4 hours yesterday, and I think the whole team's pretty cooked at the moment. We went hard, we did a lot of laps, a lot of manoeuvres, and, looking forward to this weekend and trying to fight at the front of the fleet with the rest of the teams.
Thanks very much for that. The Black Foils continue in strong command in the race to San Francisco, almost guaranteeing a place in the grand final. But the Black Foils struggled in Halifax, missing out on their first grand final since Cadiz last October. Peter, why couldn't you find your usual form in Halifax?
Yeah, well, I think looking back at it, we only missed the final by a point, and by our standards and everyone's here, that's a bad event. So, yeah, definitely really happy with the way the team's built. We really struggled to find our feet in the shifty, rainy, cold conditions on that second day. But yeah, we're pretty happy to be here this weekend, get a chance of redemption. Not too long to wait between the events, and yeah, it looks like an awesome weekend ahead.
Not to get ahead of yourself here, but if you can, put yourself on the starting line at the grand final in San Francisco. Who would you like to see the other 2 boats be? I mean, I would assume you'd like a rematch against Australia?
Yeah, we always love to race the Australians, to be honest, but I mean, whoever gets there, they deserve to be there. So it's really about teams putting their best foot forward. We want to go in there with momentum ourselves, so we really want to put our best foot forward in these next couple of events and go in with confidence. And like Tom said, it's a 15-minute shootout to win the season. And to be honest, the overall leaderboard doesn't actually help you do that. It's all about going in with momentum. So we'll be pushing hard over these next few events for sure.
Kiwis and the Aussies, such a great rivalry. And speaking of rivalries, the U.S. versus Canada was on full display in the latest episode of Racing on the Edge, with Phil Taylor and the U.S. team CEO Mike Buckley trading some serious blows. Phil, I know you've seen it. What do you make of Taylor's comments that you are arrogant?
Yeah, I guess he doesn't know me very well. But no, look, it's interesting. There's obviously the rivalry between Canada and US is very strong, and I'm proud to represent Canada in this battle. It's very cool. But look, it's the US team has been struggling a lot, and as an investor of that team, I would be asking some serious questions of the people that are making the decision of personnel on board. And look, the sport's tough, there's no secret. It's a tough league, it's competitive, but at some point, you've got to walk the walk and not just talk the talk.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Taylor, I was about to go.
Well, welcome, Brazil. Sorry, Canada, you might be out. But yeah, no comment. Don't really have any time for what Phil wants to do with his life and his supposed new nation of Canada.
Okay, so there's clearly no love lost between the two of you. It's nice that you're sitting together this morning. That's great. And you have a long history of racing. Of course, you've known each other for a long time. Taylor, historically, who has won more races between the two of you? Do you know?
I'd say we probably have the upper edge in the match racing. What do you think, Phil?
And slow keel boats. This is high performance sailing now.
Looking forward to this weekend. Following the bombshell at the top of the show, we need to acknowledge the elephant in the room that SailGP has already confirmed 11 boats will be on the start line in Season 5, but at least 12 teams vying for a position. The announcement of Brazil and rumors of another new team imminent, plus the pressure puts the pressure even higher on league-owned teams, Canada, France, Spain, and New Zealand. So, Phil, let me go back to you. I understand your prospects are brighter since last we spoke in Halifax, and the team is looking to secure long-term investment. Anything you can confirm for us today?
Yeah, there's obviously a commercial battle going on amongst all the teams, and yeah, I think we're in a fairly strong position. We've got some good prospects in the background, and we're happy with how it's tracking.
Good. All right, and let me go back to Racing on the Edge for a moment. Mike Buckley has raised your nationality, firing shots that when you're good enough to race for your own nation, New Zealand, you'll have earned the right to comment on their performance. If a new owner wants a Canadian driver, is your seat safe next season?
Yeah, obviously it's up to them, and I'm happy with either way. I've earned my position in this league, and that's the way it is.
Okay. Diego and Quentin, I understand your teams were both issued formal notice from league bosses earlier this week that without third-party ownership or full commercial backing, one of you will be cut from the start line in Season 5. So Diego, let me start with you. How did it feel to receive that notice?
I think it's totally expected. And yeah, we, as I said in previous press conferences, we are working very hard on it. We have a lot of support. It's looking good. We are doing our absolute best, and we are really hoping for the good for us, and we'll see soon if that happens or not.
And once again, France still very much in the mix. Quentin, when you get that from the league, is that a distraction going into this weekend, or is it actually a motivator to show what you can do?
It's just normal pressure from the league. I mean, I feel confident with that. It's not a big problem. I mean, we have got Hold.com in our bow. It's not only a sticker, it's a tier 2 partner, and I just wanted to put it here. I think Accor did an unbelievable job with us this season. Activation here in Times Square, activation in Dubai, activation again in Cadiz. So, I mean, I feel really confident. You should ask also Bruno Dubois. I will be super happy to answer your question. We are pushing hard for that. And another point that you never mentioned, but I think the French team has a good seamanship, and they saved a lot of money. No damage on the boat for the whole season. It's been 2 seasons that the French F50 is in good shape. So we are doing a good job. I feel confident. I have Bruno Dubois. He has all my trust with Simon Rupeau. And we'll see what happens at the end of the season. But let me tell you that we are pushing hard.
Thank you for that. Peter, it does beg the question, why hasn't New Zealand, also a league-owned team, been given the same warning? Are you guys safe in Season 5, in your opinion?
I don't think anyone's safe up here, to be honest. But yeah, we've got an amazing group of partners. We've got an amazing group of fans down in New Zealand, and we're just really excited about continuing to grow our team. You know, the Black Foils have been leading the way, and not just on the water, but off the water in a lot of regards as well. So we're really proud of the vote of confidence the league's given us.
And Diego, you touched on it a moment ago, but in Racing on the Edge, your CEO, Tony Alcazar, teases a star-studded investment group. What can you tell us about the future of Los Gallos? Any plans?
Yes, as I said, I cannot say anything else that I'm saying, but yeah, I think we represent a lot of a huge part of the world, all the Spanish, Latin speakers, and all the I think we have an amazing support and amazing potential for commercial success and good future. So yeah, we are working hard on that, and yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Nathan Outteridge, our hired gun in the crew. Last week it was announced SailGP will host its first Rolex Switzerland Sail Grand Prix in Geneva, and that Sebastian Schneider will return to drive for the team in Season 5. Now, you've said you want a permanent spot in SailGP. How do you feel you're going to make that happen?
Yeah, well, it'll be amazing to have an event in Geneva for sure. And, you know, it's been no secret that I'm here place filling for Seb while he's off, you know, pursuing Olympic glory. And he'll come into Season 5 back on the wheel. And as you alluded to, I'm looking for a drive for next season. So how to get back on the start line is a little bit harder than just saying I want to be here. I think everyone here has earned their position on the start line, and we're going to have another team next season. And I've basically got 2 more events left to try and get some decent results to remind, you know, future teams and current teams that if they're looking for a driver, I'm here and ready to take it on.
And you are one of the league's most accomplished drivers, and of course a decorated Olympian yourself. So on a personal level, is it hard to be battling from the back of the pack right now?
Yeah, it's always frustrating when you have high ambition and you still don't quite have the skills among the whole team to really race at the front. And I've had a lot of focus lately on, you know, helping the group to handle the boat better, to make the boat go faster. And I think, you know, over the last few events, especially in Bermuda and Halifax, we've made some huge inroads on our handling and our performance. And unfortunately, in Halifax, the racing side of it, you know, really let us down. You know, I think I shifted my focus probably too much on, trying to sail the boat fast and well and not really picking the shifts. It was such a shifty, tricky venue there that the further you get your head out of the boat, the better. And, you watch the way that the British team sailed there with Giles and Hannah really looking at the race course and picking the shifts. That was really what made the difference. So hopefully we get the balance a bit better this weekend. And, these boats require 6 people to sail them well, and we're just slowly building, the foundation of the Swiss program. And we had a great training day yesterday, and as I said before, I'd love to be racing more at the front of the fleet than in the pack, battling it out with everyone.
Good luck this weekend. Peter, let me go back to you for a moment. It was confirmed this week that SailGP is not going to return to Christchurch in Season 5. Is there anything you can tell us about a future event in New Zealand?
Yeah, well, I think everyone loved the Christchurch event, and the Kiwi fans are, what I'd say, the most passionate sailing fans in the world. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some good news to come in the Season 5 announcement. We've definitely been working hard behind the scenes, and really exciting things to come.
And we are coming up on that transition between Season 4 and Season 5 with athlete transfers being talked about and perhaps at play, new teams wanting to lock in the best talent, and you have some of it, Pete. Are you worried about your black foils trading seats?
I mean, every team in the league's got the same dilemma. No, we're really excited by the group we've got at the moment. We're all really good friends, but sport's sport. It's a professional environment, and everyone's playing with the same tools. So it's going to be an exciting transfer season for sure.
Can I ask you specifically about Josh Jr., who's currently playing a strategist role from the coaching station alongside Ray Davies? Have you secured him for Season 5, or would he be free to go to another team?
I don't think many people up here have contracts through too far for all their sailors, but yeah, I mean, Josh is a huge part of our team. His transition into the coaching box has been awesome, alongside Ray Davies. But yeah, no, we've been concentrating on ourselves. Our goal right now is to go to San Fran and win the grand final and try and make sure Australia doesn't win another one, or whoever else ends up in there. So yeah, we're just trying to make sure we keep building our commercial program, keep building our fan base, continuation of our home event, and make sure we try and go win the final. And there's obviously a few things to balance there, but there's people obviously want to be with the good teams as well. The prize money continues to grow in this league, and the reward of being with a good team gets greater and greater. So hopefully that'll play a big part in it.
Well, it doesn't get any bigger than New York City, and SailGP's return to New York is a huge moment for the league, and this weekend's event is set to pull out all the stops. About 9,000 ticketed fans across the weekend, record-breaking hospitality, celebrity appearances, investors lining up, and world-class food, beverage, and après-sale entertainment. You all want to be here. Taylor, it's your home debut as a driver. What do you say to the American fans about your performance coming up to this event? Are you asking for a little patience on their part, or are you just putting the pedal to the metal and let's do this?
Yeah, we're going to go out and push hard. There's no doubt about it. Again, we're a work in progress. There's no hiding that. And the amount of support that we've had coming into this event, and since we purchased the team and I started driving the boat, has been, unbelievable. To know that everyone is there and has our back, and there's a lot of pride in this country, as everyone knows, and they're excited to see an all-American team back on the water, and we're going to try to put on a good show and get some good races for them.
Phil Robertson, of course, just experienced how great it is to have a passionate hometown crowd supporting you. How much does that mean to you? You've got hometown crowds for the last 2 events of the season. Is that important? Taylor, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Phil. I was going to say, he doesn't have any hometown at all, I don't think. It's so cool to be here in the U.S. and, these 2 iconic cities in New York and San Francisco. I mean, I think everyone up here would say how amazing the sailing in San Francisco is, and then to sail in front of this backdrop and what looks like is going to be amazing conditions and, just perfect weather. This is the most iconic city in the world, and it's going to come alive. So we're excited about that.
Speaking of the conditions, Nathan, I want to talk to you for just a second about that. It looks like the conditions in terms of the wind might be a little light, but I also understand there's a full moon this weekend, and the currents here in New York can be quite substantial. You were victorious last time SailGP was here in New York. You were with Japan. Do these waters suit your style of sailing?
Yeah, it's a long time when you think back to New York 5 years ago. We had a very different weather pattern for that event. We had northwesterly winds, so it was blowing over the Jersey City, and we were right, sailing off downtown. So the course was small and shifty and tight. I think what we're going to see this weekend is quite different sailing conditions with the southerly breeze forecast. We had a really good glimpse at the weather yesterday. We had a great 10 to 14 knots of breeze sailing off Governor's Island there, and obviously plenty of traffic to deal with yesterday. But when we get the exclusion zone in place over the next few days, hopefully the water is a little bit flatter, and we can have some high-speed racing. The currents do play a big issue here. If we get light winds, the current can really cause a bit of havoc for us. But if it's windy enough to be foiling, the current doesn't really matter as much for the boats because we're obviously going incredibly fast. So I think where the current might cause its issues is in that starting box. Everyone goes in there. You can get caught, you can get slow, you can get shut out at the windward end or the leeward end of the line. So I think once the race begins, the current isn't really as much of a factor, but definitely in that starting box, it'll be challenging. And the one thing that keeps happening at SailGP every event is that starting box gets smaller and smaller, regardless of how many boats are there and how windy it is. So there's always a new starting strategy that's being developed by the teams. But yeah, I think everyone said it here. We're pretty excited to sail this weekend. It's been 5 years since we've been here, and looking forward to getting into it.
A wealth of experience, great insight. Thank you very much, and good luck this weekend, Nathan. We are going to open the floor now to questions from our media guests here in the room in New York City. If you have a question for one of the athletes, please kindly raise your hand, and we'll pass you a microphone. And please also be sure to introduce yourself and the publication that you are representing. Just throw a hand up if you have a question for our athletes this morning.
Hi, I'm Bill Springer from Forbes magazine. Tom, this question's for you. Traditionally, your Achilles heel has been the light wind, and if it is light winds, particularly because you can't really have any margin for error going into the final. Do you have any special plans for dealing with light winds in a way that can sort of put you into the final?
For sure. Yeah, light winds have been our Achilles heel in SailGP, but honestly, I don't think it's a major problem. I think light winds just naturally bring a bit more of a factor for anyone's got more of a chance. But we're always working on that for sure. And this weekend, I don't think we're going to see those light winds. I know the wind forecast we're seeing, it looks like it's going to be really champagne sailing, as Taylor said, and I think we'll have 10 to 14 knots of wind. So hopefully we don't have to face those demons of light air this week, but it's something we're working on, and we hope there's wind because it gives us a bit better chance to make that final. And we're as we said before, we're in a position we haven't been in, and we've got a lot of pressure on us, but I've got full faith in our squad.
Hi guys, Patrick Tupwest at the Financial Times. Question for whomever, and follow up on the weather question there. It's very hot out there. How does that affect the sailing conditions, the conditions on the boat, and have you experienced heat like this in a race before?
I'll take it on. Here we go. Yeah, we had some hotter conditions in the Middle East earlier in the season, but yeah, it's looking exceptionally hot for this weekend, and yeah, at least our team is taking some precautionary measures and getting all the preparation right so that we're staying hydrated and well fueled throughout the day, and yeah, it's going to be tough. Even out there yesterday, I think we have another 6+ degrees today, so it was hot yesterday, and it's going to be troublesome if we're not on top of it. So we have a good plan in place for our team.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking part in today's press conference. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait for this weekend in New York City. This is going to be incredibly exciting. As a reminder, racing gets underway from Governor's Island. It'll be tomorrow and Sunday, just after 4 p.m. local time. There are about 9,000 expected across the land and on the water, and an extremely limited supply of tickets available, but they are still available at sailgp.com/New York, so act fast to avoid missing out on this incredible action. And of course, all the après-sale entertainment as well. And if you can't make it to the event, head to sailgp.com/watch for details on how to catch the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix right here or wherever you are watching from in the world. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to our athletes, and good luck to everybody. Have a safe racing weekend, guys.